My name is Androniki Marathaki. I'm a dance maker and a choreographer. My mainly focus in choreography is like practicing, like trying to find a way of practicing as an aesthetic form. And my work in the last years has been informed by the sensorial reality that influences my body a lot and the perceptual reality. And somehow the last years is opening up to how this sensoriality can influence the awareness of the collective. During COVID, I also experienced somehow a serious illness in my body. So somehow I try to find ways to move with more gentle and curious and uh, yes, a more gentle way towards myself and how I think and how I embody dance and what is the dance that I am creating within the way I move. Yes, we started working with my team in the physical organ of the heart. I started exploring a bit before about the connections of the heart and movement and how can I move towards where my body wants to go and not impose like movement to my body somehow. And then I started exploring dimensions of this amazing organ that is our heart, and it has also it has this materiality, the materiality dimension, but also an immateriality dimension. Like the heart is like something, a spark that somehow we connect all. Interested a lot on how can this physical organ informs us about solidarity. It was a performance presented in Mir Festival this November, and previous we had amazing chance to be in Paleohori for a residency of 3 weeks, which played a very important and precious role to my artistic journey and to our artistic journey to this performance. It was not easy. It was a journey really challenging, but it offered me an insight on how can I proceed with my artistic research on that performance more vividly. The first thing that was really, really important is that you somehow, when you try to connect with people that you don't know and to work in a pedagogical level, like to create a workshop so that you can communicate with them and so that they can inform the whole process, I had to make some steps back. You have somehow to really simplify some aspects of this thing that is going on within your head and your process and your artistic research. You have to go back some steps and simplify, okay, what are the roots of this system that you want to create somehow? Like, what are the main basic pillars? Yes, pillars that are really, really important because you cannot share everything. And somehow, this is a process that is really important when you have to choose, you have to select, you have to simplify so that you can make bridges in order to communicate. So this was the first thing that was challenging. The other thing that is, I think, challenging is that it's not easy for us to communicate uh, and negotiate our differences. It somehow maximize the differences. That was my focus of attention. How can I find, like, how can we have a group that is multicellular and can, our differences can be somehow enlightened. So there was a group of participants that were really different between them, and there was also the professionals that were working with us, with me, in the research. So this created conflicts and tensions and connections also, and that was somehow our triviality within that process, and how maybe this process can inform our life. While being in this process and while finding and experiencing difficulties in negotiating each other, negotiating ourselves also, there was like this core that had been created by one aspect of the heart organ, and that we tried to collectively research it. And it was like really interesting how we experienced solidarity through that task. But that's it's funny because one of our performers says that from the piece, he says there was life before Lefkada and after Lefkada. Like something totally, completely changed, and I can understand this. I mean, I totally agree with that. We have to really accept that it's not the self and others also, but it's the self, others, and the surroundings, and we all co-live together. So this was really, really important, and the rain was part of the piece. Like it influenced me and Manusos, who was our musician there, and I told him just listen to the rain in the tent. This is so much in relation to what we do. We did for one task and one stage, and it's part of it. It's part of the performance. The first thing that was really important for me is to find the body about solidarity, and not to understand the word or the ideas that are around this. And that was not negotiable for me, from my side. When I'm really sensing the heart and through somatic experiences that I can explore this sensing of our own heart, I think it's establishing the first kind of dimension, that the fact that we try to research really solidarity, this togetherness, this supporting each other in a very embodied level. All the rest I'm still searching, I'm still trying to understand how it goes, but it has really simple aspects, like how you feel like the weight of your heart, and how the rest of the body supports its weight, like the diaphragm, or like how the lungs um, hug the heart. So these are important aspects in solidarity, and how we support each other and where we support each other. We have the heart is the first organ created in the embryo, and it's pulsing, keeps on through our life. So not everything is negotiable for the heart. So because it has a very good job to do towards our life. It's the one part is how we are in solidarity with others, but we have to be so in solidarity with ourselves. So there were like this word that we came up with, the selfidarity, like how solitary can I be with myself, like the heart. But it's not negotiable that she has to keep on pulsing. What we are missing to the world now, what we're missing in the world now, is like to find the body in many emotions. Like, how can we find love in the body? Like, bodily, like how we can really negotiate ideas in embodied ways. For me, this is political. We are missing the aspects of the body in many dimensions of what we have created mentally. Because it's a practice, man. For me, it's a practice. It's not like only a performance, which we share, which is important, but something that I wish to practice for myself, and like something that I wish to share with other people. It starts with your everyday life, and with how you have children living, and what you do in your everyday living. Like, how do you practice everything? How do you practice the fact that you love dance, and that you learn through dance about how to be in the world? Where do you live? In what place? With whom? Uh, with whom do you connect? What are the families that you create? I mean, practically within your living system, like what is the system that you create around you? If you wish, like, if dance is like a very important language and precious language for you, what are this giving you to practice it in your everyday communication? There is no bridging. We dance, and we do amazing things and we do amazing practices. It's really important on how we can negotiate all this. How can we relate to the work that choreographers have done with scores, not in a performative only aspect and level, but also in other levels? How can we like promote this work that we are doing and create like some another kind of practice that I don't know? So I am engaging with things that they don't all work. Some are really tough, but some work, and we have to try somehow to find ways to renegotiate how we can be with each other. It's there is a really good impact in that. I received a very good heart space impact through that, and that made me really. It gives me courage to keep on going somehow. So I started the project last year. It was called Night Score. It was like a hybrid workshop. The score of night course was like that I was offering like a warm up, and then we somehow were reading a score from an artist or a choreographer, and then we experienced the score and activated it for 1 hour. And this 1 hour was open to viewers and witnesses. So every week there was a different score from a different choreographer. So we experienced somehow like scores from the 60s or by international choreographers, but also I invited some big choreographers, to share with us a score. And so we practiced a lot of scores. And that was an amazing experience because while negotiating these differences, I could understand myself and other people, and it opened up really my mind concerning what the score can be. We also did like an event. It's called the Road Dancing Multiverse, where we somehow all together experienced our scores, a different score. So there was like a multiverse of dancing, really negotiating on our differences. It was really an amazing experience. I think that offering the chance to the people to really contemplate on what they do, on what they think, on who they are, is something really important now. It asks for our time. We have to give time to this, but I think it's something that we don't usually do. And actions and like events, like Parliament, or like night sports, or like I don't know, events that can offer us like this time to sense how we embody ourselves is something really precious. Because usually we tell other people how we want them to be somehow. We are like giving them directions to what we want to, how we understand their ways of thinking and their ways of relating. But to understand that we live with multiple realities coexisting is a different thing. Like, if you really start to understand it and feel it and sense it, that it's how you interpret life, and if you can accept like the multiple realities that coexist, the biodiversity that exists within the realities in the world, then you can relate in another dimension to another person. But it's not something that we accept easily. It's really difficult. I can understand. It was difficult for me, but it's really important that there is not one universal truth. I think that we all are choreographers, that we can all be something like that. I mean, that we all can uh, have the potential of being something like that, of creating the work. And this is important to be reminded that it's not about having something precious, something different than others. Uh, but if you somehow sense and feel the agency within yourself and accept it as a human being, somehow this can be inform also your artistic work. So the challenge is to face yourself. This is the most important thing for a choreographer, to to accept many others are like him, her, like, and somehow I think that when we nourish that and that when we become more sensitive to that, we inspire other people also to